Orazio Fantasia, 99 games, 141 goals, born on the 14th of September, 1995. Pom, you've anointed him a Pom. You've already given him the Pom. What's the prefix?
Fantasia. Then I'm a sucker for a flash in a pan player. I've got to say, and I've got to say, Orazio's it. I think small forward has been probably the biggest bugbear. Has been a Carlton fan for a long time, and I also think the biggest issue with our football club is we see the work Doc did down the back in the interim, who we know is a natural leader. We know now Wheatery and Sard are them guys, and Doc's gone to help in the midfield to give some much leadership there. Then I look in the forward line and I look, Harry and Charlie, are they natural leaders? Probably not. Do you know what I mean? No disrespect to them, but I think they're still young and they're still working on their craft. Matty Owies is probably the senior statesman up there. But basketballer, this is his secondary, and he's had to mechanically learn. I love the fact that the Raz Dog is here, because I feel like although he's played 99 games and he's had a plethora of injuries, I feel like Fantasia's been there and done it. He's been there and done it. There is no doubt when the ball hits the deck, in my opinion, he's in the upper echelon of every player in the league at the moment. Lou nails it, X Factor. This guy is it. And the only negative I've got is his beard growth is a little bit pants, and that's why I've anointed him a Pom, because I feel him. I know what it's like to be pushing into your 30s and not be able to grow a beard. But I think Orazio last year in his Sandful year, and watching a lot of the Sandful, because some great kids are in the Sandful, it was a return to vintage Fantasia. This guy was back. He looked fit. He looked sharp. Seeing him play for the Sandful Port side, his leadership came into it. You saw him constantly helping young guys. My mate Tom Scully, you could see him constantly talking to him. He's here now. I can't wait to see him, because I feel like Fantasia is the missing ingredient for that forward line, because this guy here, bang for buck, he kicks goals from nothing, and we don't have that on the list. And I can't wait to see Orazio. I'm a big fan. I've always liked him at Port. I liked him at Essendon even as well. I can't wait to see him play for the Blues. I feel like this is the smoking gun that we were waiting for, and no one's talking about him.
Yeah. So I had a look. Let's set the scene of his career. So in terms of what he's capable of doing, goal tallies per season in a season. So 2016, which was his third season, played 19 games, kicked 29 goals. The following year, 2017, 20 games, 39 goals. The following year, 2018, 13 games for 20 goals, 15 games for 20 goals in 2019. Then it really started kind of going south for him in his body. Played the 5 games in 2020. Had a bit of a resurgence his first year at Port Adelaide, 15 games, 28 goals. 2022 only managed the 1 game, and 2023 only managed the 3 games, and he kicked the 2 goals. So that's the scene for him. I wasn't aware about his injury stat. I wasn't aware how serious it was and how much his injuries kept recurring until he did his press conference when he was announced as a Carlton player. And I think with that comes, I'm pretty big on the whole having a weight to carry. And I think his weight to carry is, can I do it again? He's obviously got the doubts creeping in about his body. It would happen to any player who, gets consistent soft tissue injuries, or any injury for that matter. And so I can't help but feel that if I'm him, I'm thinking, I have not played my best footy yet. He's a little bit older. Obviously, he's pushing closer to 30. So, that's a factor. But I really do believe that he would think he hasn't played his best football. And it's a what if. I think he falls into the what if category. But the other variable to this situation is, mate, we brought back Charlie Curnow. We brought back Caleb Marchbank, Dave Cunningham, Jack Martin. These are guys who, maybe not so much Curnow and Marchbank, but the others, and McGovern you can add in there, soft tissue injuries consistently. And we found a way to get them onto the park consistently in 2023. So it's a big hope, but I'm with you. If he's healthy and available, can't see how he's not in the side. if we're playing to win.
I think he's a walk-up start.
Yeah.
I don't think, no disrespect, and we know I'm huge on our smalls and their potential, particularly Jesse Motlop. Don't think anyone can hold a torchlight to Orazio when he's playing at his best. I don't think anyone's close. And I think Jesse can be, but I think pound for pound, this guy can do it. And you've only got to look, only a couple of years ago, he destroyed the flag winners single-handedly, Geelong. Absolutely tore them apart. And Geelong are one of the most prudent sides against small forwards. That they really do stifle them. The bigs that get them, the smalls they handle. And he's a touch of class. I mean, you look at some of the games that Orazio's played in his career, like 5 touches, 4 goals, things like that. Like, that is what we don't have. A lot of our players seem to need the ball a little bit to give us an output. Orazio's that guy who floats around, does nothing all game. The ball comes to him 3 times. Bang, bang, bang. See you later. And good example of what that can do to your team is someone like Mr. Ginnivan, who we don't like. We look at his year. He used to do that quite frequently for Collingwood, having 0 output, then suddenly bang, 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 and it changes momentums of the game. And I feel like his leadership, his knowledge, but also just his skill set. He's a very crafty footballer, and we haven't had that in the forward line since Mr. Eddie Betts hung up his boots. This guy will command respect, and you can see it. Even when he's been injured, teams command him respect because they know what he's capable of. And you know what? I get a little bit of an impression watching his interview. He gives me a bit of Adam Sard vibes when he left Port. He was underappreciated, and I don't think he was appreciated at Port either. A lot of the Port fans were calling for him to make the side late last season when they had that blip, and he never got called in. It was funny that Voss quickly made the phone call. I think Voss knows something that most people don't, and he's talked about his rapport with Vossi. I reckon that this could be the sign of the season. Coin early, reckon this is the sign of the season. Every year, we had Blake Acres last year. I feel like it's this guy. I feel like this guy is the one that's going to blow us away, and everyone's going to go, how did they get him for nothing?
Yeah. I'm with you. And this here is a really good point that I want to touch on. You did glance over it earlier. So we talk about what he brings on the field, but what he brings off the field. So where we are at right now with our small forwards is that they're still young. And that is the core small forwards that we've identified. So I'm talking about the Corey Durden, Jesse Motlop. If you want to add Matt Owies there, as you said, Matt Owies he's not young in terms of age as an AFL player, but he is young in terms of how long he's played the game. And as you said, he's a bit more mechanical. Orazio's got, he's that saying, athlete versus footballer. Orazio's that natural footballer. And imagine all the lessons he would have gained over his career up until this date. For him to be able to pass that on to Corey, pass that on to Jesse, even Matt Owies to an extent as well. I think that is where we're going to see a lot of a benefit of having him, and probably as fans, we won't really get to feel that and see that day to day, but I can't imagine how that's not the case. The knowledge that he can pass down to these younger, less experienced small forwards, I think he's going to be a real factor about having him at the club for 2 years.
I think the biggest thing as well is if anyone wants to go back and just watch him play games, is this guy is Mr. Front and Centre.
Yeah.
He doesn't piss about, going wandering. He doesn't have a cup of tea on the halfway line or go and chat to the cheer squad. This guy lives at his feet of his bigs. And in the Fremantle game, I know we're going way back now. I don't want to be that guy, but 2018 when he was playing for Essendon, all of his goals there were pure opportunist goals. And you think he's playing off Harry, playing off Charlie, him instilling that on Jesse, who I think is an incredible ceiling footballer. Motlop gets that confidence, and it's even 5% of what Orazio does. We could, on paper, have the best small forward line in the competition. The most irritating at the moment could be the most potent, because Harry and Charlie is crumbs.
Yeah.
We just need the pigeons. And I don't like mosquitoes as fleet. I want the pigeon squad just eating the crumbs. And I reckon Orazio is a gift that hits. A gift that hits.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm excited for him. I've got a lot of hope for him at his body. He didn't train in that final session that the club did. He did a modified program, so they'll ease him into the new year. And it's a fingers crossed. Get your body right. Get some consistency into your training, and really the most important thing is having him available when it matters. I'd love to say he could play 20, 22 games, but we'll just see how it goes. My hope for him is it's at least 14 to 15 games, and in the lead up to finals, we've got him there as a potential inclusion in the side. But we'll wait and see. What about you at home? Let us know what you think about Orazio Fantasia.